Hello dear friends, Salam Alaikum. We humans deal with not one environment but with two. One of them is our outside environment consisting of shopping mall, home, office, and so on. The other one, the more important one, the unknown one, is our inner world. We all know about it. We have experienced doing our dealings, our conversations, going here and there, visiting friends in our inner world. But tonight we would like to examine what our inner world consists of, what is taking place, what the mechanisms are. But first, we would like to give a few examples. Let's look at them. One time we lie in bed alone and even with our eyes closed. We go, however, to so many places. We hear music, we dance with people and see ourselves as if it was reality. So the question is, do we get busy inside and go to places while we lie in bed and with eyes closed? No. Let's look at the next scenario. She's walking, watchful of traffic, people around her, yet she's busy inside. She's talking to people, she's meeting with people and having conversation. Let's look at it.
I mean, he's just like this slug who hangs around the house all the time. Ugh. And he's a hideous dancer. Couldn't take him anywhere. Wait a second. What am I stressing about? This is like Josh.
Next, let us examine ourselves in a sitting position.
Into one of his little places.
I'm zoned out.
You do that now and then.
We seem to be as busy inside in a sitting position as when we were walking or lying in bed with closed eyes. So how about the time when we are in the back seat of a taxi?
Unlike his
Looks
earlier
like we are
daydreams,
watching
Walter
our own favorite TV show in our inside world and meeting with people and conversing with them. When sitting in our office in a confined environment and busy working, in our inner world, however, we go out, meet with our spouse and go for dinner. So far what we've seen is nothing new. That's what each of us is experiencing every day, every hour, and every minute. From this point onward, however, we go deeper into the human body and explore the physiological as well as spiritual mechanisms that make us who we are, that enable us to interact with two environments, outer physical and the inner, the unknown environment. Let us find out. Well, in the case of each of these people in their particular situations, in one way or the other, they seem to be recollecting past life experiences. It means that God Almighty has created a beautiful and perfect world for us to do our life experiences. At the same time, He has graciously chosen us as the creatures to be equipped with best tools to interact with the world, detect the information, bring it to our insight and analyze it. Let's look at the video for more clarity.
The eye, a unique and self-sustaining system.
The reflected light of the world enters through the crystal transparency of the cornea, aqueous humor, lens, and vitreous humor to project onto the photoreceptors of the retina, whose impulses converge on the optic nerve, and then to the brain to be transfigured into imagery and imbued with meaning.
Ears are constantly active. They pick up sound waves and change them into information that the brain can interpret, such as music or speech. Sound is a pressure wave that can vibrate either quickly or slowly. Sound vibrations move along the ossicular chain and into the inner ear. Within the inner ear, the cochlea plays a central role. It is here that the mechanical energy of sound is converted into complex electrical signals, which are then passed on to the brain.
Our sense of taste plays an important role in choosing food that is safe to eat and in detecting and avoiding dangerous, poisonous substances. Taste receptors found on the tongue are sensitive to various chemical substances, each of which produce a different taste sensation. Impulses produced by taste receptors are transmitted to the brain through cranial nerves 7, 9, and 10, where they are switched by the thalamus and finally reach the cortical taste center. Taste sensation is generated in the cerebral cortex.
The detection of specific airborne molecules, referred to as autogens, results in the sense of smell. As the autogen is inhaled, it moves through the nostril and into the nasal cavity. There it comes in contact with the olfactory epithelium. The olfactory bulb, which lies above the nasal cavity, receives sensory information from the olfactory epithelium. Within the upper nasal cavity, the autogens dissolve in the mucus lining, where they can interact with receptors on cells in a specialized region on the olfactory epithelium.
Skin carries out three key functions: protecting, regulating, and sensing the world beyond its limits. On a daily basis, its huge surface processes hundreds, if not thousands, of physical sensations. Skin is also a sensory organ that helps regulate your body's temperature. Skin's vast surface isn't just a shield. It also enables us to interact and connect with the world.
Well, not only we received information from our environment in real time and in the best possible way among all other creatures on earth, however, God Almighty has graciously endowed us with another unique wonder. That's the mechanism of our memory, that we receive the information and store it. Let's look at how we store the information.
The prefrontal cortex region and the hippocampus in the middle region of the brain are responsible for memory storage. Prefrontal cortex stores short-term memories and the hippocampus stores long-term memories. Memory storage is a complex process and involves different phases. Let's understand the process then. Memory is generated in three phases. Number 1, encoding the input messages in a suitable electrochemical form. Number 2, storing that memory in required parts of the brain. And number 3, recalling, that is accessing the stored memory whenever we require. The brain undergoes three memory processes. The first process is called sensory register, in which the brain collects the physical stimulus and signals from the environment through 5 senses of the body and even from proprioception. There are different registers for each sense. The memory generated through the sensory register usually lasts for a few seconds. For example, you see something in a hurry. Its image lasts a few seconds and then it's gone. It does not become a short-term or long-term memory and lasts only for a few moments from the time the information comes in through any of the senses. Thus, this memory is called iconic or echoic memory. When these iconic memories are paid attention to, they then start getting stored in the brain temporarily. These memories are called short-term memories. What you learn one day before the examination is an example of short-term memory. You pay attention to it, repeat the sentences, and focus on the pattern. These memories are generated as echoic memories get temporarily stored in the brain and last for a few days, or in some cases, just till the time till you write everything you remember in the exam. Now that is an oversimplification of the whole event because some of those memories could last for a long time, but in layman terms, that is how short-term memory works. Short-term memory is the storing of information so that it can be manipulated. For example, someone gave you their phone number and you forgot to save it. It will remain for a moment and then you will remember only fragments of it. Sometimes a small concentration can make you remember the whole number. The last process is long-term memory storage, in which memory is stored in the brain quite permanently that could last from a few weeks to a lifetime. Hippocampus stores the long-term memory by changing the neural wiring, that is making new connections between neurons and synapses by receiving the short-term memories from the prefrontal cortex. Eric Kandel, a neuroscientist at Columbia University, had shown through his works that to build a memory, neurons manufacture new proteins and expand the network of neurons and synapses to make neurotransmitters run efficiently. There is no single place where all memories are stored. Different parts of the brain store different kinds of memories. When we recall any memory, these different regions interplay with each other and present a consolidated memory.